What is going on with the whole trans thing these days? I don't know if this is the direction that
by the way,
to go.
If there's ever been a time you want to be a trans,
really want to do that one now, yeah.
But here's the thing, though. You make a very good point. If there's ever been a time to be a trans in Palm Springs, this is the time to do it.
Exactly.
Here's why. Because Palm Springs Woke Council votes in pilot scheme to pay 20 transgender residents up to $900 a month for 2 years in universal basic income. But even city's mayor thinks it's a waste of money. Palm Springs is to spend $200,000 on a guaranteed income scheme. Not only applies to cities transgender and non-binary residents. California City's Council voted unanimously on Thursday in favor of the pilot scheme, which will give 20 residents between $600 to $900 a month for 2 years. The City Council, Christie, backed the scheme, told LA Times that she felt incredibly proud of the city for coming in the right side of history and supporting our trans and non-binary, gender, non-conforming community. Yes, the mayor of Palm Springs, Lisa Middleton, who herself is transgender,
she's trans,
said she did not think the scheme would succeed, but voted for it anyway. So,
well, how do you process that, Dave?
Palm Springs got 47,000 population. I think 46,980 people are going to become trans within 24 hours.
I've actually got the hormones in my car. If you guys want to, this shit could really make you become a total ANCAP, like check me out of society. The idea that when they say they're going to give money to trans, I'm going to give $900. That means they're going to take money from someone else. Mm-hmm. A business owner in Palm Springs, the guy who owns the pizza shop, will have a few dollars or a few cents less in his paycheck, so they can pay trans people to do what? This has nothing to do with being bigoted towards trans people. I want them to have the same equality and dignity. Obviously, it's so boring having to say all that stuff all the time. You know, it's just obvious. But what are they saying? Okay, so we're going to start paying people with limps. You know, they got problems too. You know, you got a limp. You see a guy walking down the street with a limp. You know, pay this guy something.
I'm going to start limping, Dave.
You should start limping.
But what, did they say why they're paying them?
Right, that's the fun. Why?
But by the way, very interesting thing. Can you pull up Boris Johnson, what he said yesterday?
Oh, God, I think you're going to say he's going trans.
Did you hear what Boris said yesterday?
Crazy hair.
Oh, by the way, did you hear what Boris said yesterday?
What did he say?
You're going to be blown away what Boris said yesterday, okay? Put biological, he said biological males. That's the quote you want to pull up. Okay, there you go, right there, second line. Make it a little bit closer so the audience can see it. He said this yesterday. I don't think that biological males should be competing in female sports, and maybe that's a controversial thing, but it just seems to be sensible. So Boris Johnson comes out saying, I don't think biological males should be competing in female sports, and maybe that's a controversial thing, but it just seems sensible. Doesn't that sound like common sense to me?
My God, a politician telling the truth.
Boris Johnson, out of everybody, from UK.
He seems to be nailing it these days. A lot of the quotes I hear from him,
I'm not in touch with his wife, but in regards to the comments he's making, it's a pretty solid
Well, he
comment.
said, I trust the British people to make their own decisions. That was the famous line during COVID.
That was pretty,
I could have done it better. I could have done better if I get another chance to that. BizDoc's actually great at accents. Do you want to give it an English accent?
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that.
He's not racist. Come on, ease up.
No, on the trans thing, as a father of two girls, I mean, I felt terrible for all those girls that were in the Ivy League that were competing with a guy that had longer arms and size 13 and a half feet. Those are called flippers.
By the way,
in the water, you know, However, I look at Title IX and I go, wait a minute. How many people gave their careers pushing for Title IX so we could have this non-discrimination of budget and decisions in women's collegiate sports? Okay, well then, if you draw it out, Title IX would actually support trans competing with trans. So why is this such an issue? And it just shocks me because it's like somebody wants it to be a wedge issue. Nobody wants it to be solved. There's somebody that doesn't want it to be solved, and they just want it to be a wedge issue. And that's how I see trans.
By the way, Leah Thomas has a penis still, by the way. Just saying, yes.
So it's still William?
Yeah. Now that does
Does that disappoint you?
Well, have you guys seen the time-lapse video that they showed on one of the races? When you see it, you really realize how out of control this is.
You see what? The penis?
No. different video. They show you a time lapse of the race, and when you see him, her, whatever, crushing them, you're like, man, it's just so obvious how unfair this is. But there's also another incredible video that you guys gotta see. from about 6 years ago, right before Letterman stepped away from the Late Show. He has Serena Williams on. And
Sick.
You saw this?
Sick. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
No, but don't
Please,
tell
go
me.
ahead. No, you go ahead. It's sick.
It's incredible.
Oh, what she says about playing against men?
Yeah, she says
Yes.
Andy Murray wants to
crush
play
me,
me.
yes.
He would crush me. She says, she goes as far to say, this is her words.
Yes.
She says, men's tennis and women's tennis are different sports.
Yes, I saw that. And this is the best female tennis player of all time.
Now you've got Ron DeSantis
Yes.
doing like a watered down version of it, and he's Hitler. That's where we're at.
Great. What is the LGBT, and now it's QIAP?
Nobody.
I've seen you say a joke, LMNOP.
Yeah, nobody knows what
Please
any
explain.
of it is. Nobody knows. It doesn't matter. And, you know, on the trans thing, look, Douglas Murray, you guys may know Douglas Murray. He's a British conservative writer, really brilliant. He wrote a book called Madness of Crowds, and in it, he happens to be gay also, and in it, he separates the chapter on LGB from T, because these things actually have nothing to do with each other, because one, who you're attracted to is very different. So, for example, I have no more insight into what it is like to be trans than you do, right?
Bingo.
You're straight. I'm gay.
Yep.
Okay, nobody cares actually, except for the people constantly smashing us with this. But the idea that these letters got put together is very, very dangerous. And actually, I think in many ways it's anti-gay, because the gay movement, the people that were protesting Stonewall, 40 years ago, and the entire gay movement was always about equality.
Harvey Milk, everything
It was
with that.
always about equality. Let us have equal rights. Make sure that we don't have to go to underground bars to meet people, and let us get married.
If I want to be miserable and married like the rest of you, I have that right.
It's an old joke, but it always works.
Thank you.
That's what it was about. And the problem is, Chris Rock has a great line about this in one of his stand-up specials from 20 years ago. The cops need a certain amount of crime. And that's basically what the activists need. So the gays got equality. That's all we ever wanted. You're equal. Do whatever the hell you want. You're an equal member of society.
If you enjoyed this short clip, click over here to watch another short clip. And if you want to watch the entire episode, the entire podcast, click here.